Can the woman become the head of the state?
The brother asked the question, can a woman become the head of a state? There is no text in the Quran which I know which states that a woman cannot become a head of a state. But there are several hadiths. For example, one hadith says that the people who have the leader as a woman will not succeed. Some of the scholars say that this only refers to a particular time in which this hadith was related, especially at the time when Persia had the leader as a queen. The other scholars say no, it refers to all the times. Let's analyze whether it is advisable for a woman to be a head of a state or not. If a woman is head of a state in an Islamic country, she may have to lead the congregational prayers. And if a woman leads the congregational prayers, in Islam we adopt several postures like Qiyam, Ruku, Sujood, standing, bowing and prostration. If a lady is doing that in front of a gents congregation, I'm surely it will cause disturbances in the prayers. If she happens to be head of a state of a modern society like the one we have today, many a time the head of a state has to have meetings with other heads of state which are usually gents. And many a times they have closed door meetings in which no one else is allowed. And if a woman has a closed door meeting with another gent, Islam does not permit her to do that. Islam does not permit a woman to be alone with a mahram, with a foreign male in closed doors. Islam does not permit intermingling of sexes. The head of the state many times receives over publicity by video shooting and the photography, and many times it involves in close proximity with the other heads of state and with other gentlemen. Therefore you can see photographs of the heads of state. If it's a lady, may it be Margaret Thatcher or anyone else, you find a photograph shaking hands with many men. Islam does not allow such free intermingling of sexes. The head of the state requires that it should meet the common man. A lady, if she's the head of the state, it will be difficult for her to meet the common man and try and solve her problems. And science tells us that a woman, during a menstrual period, she undergoes certain behavioral, mental and psychological changes due to the release of the sex hormone estrogen. And these changes will surely disturb her in making decisions if she's the head of the state. Science also tells us that the woman has more verbal and vocal skill as compared to the man. And a man has got more spatial ability. Spatial ability means the ability to imagine things, to imagine the future, to imagine her future project. And spatial ability is very important for the head of the state. A woman has been given an edge over the men in verbal and vocal skills which are required for a motherhood. A woman, she may get pregnant and surely she may require rest for a few months. Who will look after the state for those few months? She may have children. Her duty as a mother is very important. And it is more practicable for a man who can do both the duties of a father as well as head of a state as compared to a woman if she has to do the duty of a mother as well as head of state. So I am more inclined to those scholars who say that women should not be made the head of state. But that does not mean that a woman cannot take part in making decisions. As I mentioned in my speech, they have a right to vote, they have a right to take part in lawmaking. During the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, Salma, may Allah be pleased with her, She supported and guided the Prophet at a time when the whole Muslim community was disturbed. She guided him and she supported him. As you know that though the Prime Minister or the President may be the head of the state, but many a times the PAs and the Secretary, they are the one who make the decisions. So surely a woman can help the man in making decisions of the state. I hope that answers the question.